Brandon Harding is a UK-based amateur classic physique competitor with around 700,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 700,000 on Instagram. This man is a powerhouse of content creation. He has mastered the social media bodybuilding game, and like his clickbait technique or not, his YouTube videos are kind of the pinnacle of fitness content. Brandon's competed for a good period of time. As a guy with incredible genetic structure and muscle bellies, this man is clearly destined for success within bodybuilding. So why is it then that he's not yet an IFBB pro? Early on, he had some issues with his contest preps. It took him a little while to get into the swing of things. Picked up a lot of traction back in those early YouTube days. The type of content that Brandon Harding made was kind of what the fitness industry was all about at the time. But then Greg Doucette pinpointed the irresponsible drugs use, offered to coach him for free. And we all know how that went. Of course, Brandon then made the choice to go to one of the coaches that he was originally going to go to, Callum from the Muscle Mentors at the time, now a Team Pro coach, who's currently, the leading coach within the UK. And still coaches Brandon to this day. Even after he made the move, though, he did have issues. He either had issues in terms of sticking to his diet, binge and restrict cycles. He'd secretly do more cardio than he was told to. He'd be eating less, maybe doing more drugs. But as somebody who has felt the full wrath of a contest prep myself and has had to back off because of the issues that I found, and I guess a lack of strength to carry on through it, because let's face it, that is pretty much all you can do in those circumstances. I'm not here to slate Brandon Harding's past. I'm here to talk about whether or not this year Brandon Harding is actually on the road to pro. Brandon posted a recent physique update here. He's sitting around 242 pounds. He's got just shy of 4 months until he goes for his pro card once more at the Arnold Sports Festival in the UK. Size-wise, there's not much of a difference. Here's a picture of Brandon just before he really started to push up in weight into the growth phase. He was around 239 pounds here. So in total, from this off-season, Brandon has gained 3 pounds. Now, granted, there is a slight visual difference in terms of muscle mass. He's maybe added a bit of size to his lats, for example, maybe a little bit to the arms, probably a little bit overall everywhere. But to me, this isn't the kind of drastic difference that we needed to see from Brandon. Last year, Brandon was set on getting that pro card. He made his road to pro statement, as every single Instagram bodybuilder does, as if it's just that easy. You write it in a caption and you are on your road to pro. By that logic, I may as well call my next prep series the Road to Olympia, because technically it's correct. I never said how long that road is. The difficulty is Brandon is a UK-based amateur classic physique competitor. It is not easy to get your pro card within the UK. Sure, it's gotten easier over the last 12 to 24 months as Two Bros has really stepped up the game in terms of pro qualification opportunities, and he's under Cal. There's no reason he won't travel internationally through Europe to achieve the pro card. That's what people like Josh Bridgman have done in the past, and it can pay off to do the full tour and extract all the opportunities at your disposal. But the Arnold Classic is going to be where everyone's going to show up to make a statement, and last year Brandon wasn't able to make his. Why? Well, because the competition is so damn stacked. People who turn pro in classic physique in the UK, odds are they are at their weight cap. Last year, Brandon was 20 plus pounds below his weight cap, as he said in this statement. Does he get a bit of an allowance because of his incredible structure and genetics? Yes, absolutely. I believe, people like Brandon who have incredible structure and genetics and muscle bellies, the capability to look larger at the same weight as somebody else, can probably buy themselves 5 at absolute most, if you're a Keon Pearson, 10 pounds versus other competitors on stage. You can't make up 25 odd pounds worth of muscle difference just with your shape and flow. And to be honest, it shocked me a bit that Brandon hasn't made more progress over this period of time. He really shot up in weight as he came off his prep, and it seemed like he may have even lost control at a certain pep phase, with Callum commenting on his post saying, "Can you send some check-ins, please?" So, you'd think somebody who got off to such a strong start in terms of weight gain would have been able to push the limits a bit more compared to his last off-season. But he was 239 pounds in August. That's 9 months worth of progress for 3 pounds worth of muscle gain. Now, granted, maybe there's more. Maybe, let's say, he's got 5 pounds worth of muscle gain. Hell, even give him 10 pounds. He's still 10 pounds short of what he's going to need to be. There are people like Alex Kent competing in this lineup who arguably has the genetics to go open because of the sheer muscle bellies and size on this guy. Alex will probably be capping out his weight capping classic, and damn does he look thick. You can see him with Marvin Bain, who's an open competitor in the UK, who everyone's pretty much pinning to get his pro card whenever he damn wants it. This shows you the size and scale of people that Brandon is going to be up against on that competitive stage at the Arnolds. And it comes across as arrogance to me to believe that he could achieve what he wants to achieve with that little progress year on year, especially considering his off-season looked less than productive. He was moving between countries, then going on multiple holidays and spending extended amounts of time abroad. When you're running a multi-million pound company and then also trying to keep up with being one of the most impactful social media influencers in the fitness game, it's easy to say that Brandon Harding is probably spread thin. And that's something the bodybuilders can't afford to do, because this is not a healthy game. We've seen plenty of people fall to the bodybuilding lifestyle over the last couple of years. Now, whether there are other factors involved in that, it doesn't really matter. Clearly, bodybuilders are not on top of their health game right now. And for a guy who has a history of pushing the drugs envelope, for a guy with his kind of genetic potential, it's just sad to see him not living up to it. It gets to a point where you just have to wonder where the priorities lie. And it's understandable why he might have a dilemma, or he's not going to be sure if he can prioritize bodybuilding, or not going to be able to put 100% of his effort into it, because the guy is incredibly successful. And that's not something I'm putting him down for. I'm just saying bodybuilding isn't something that you pursue if you're only able to put a percentage of yourself into it. You can't buy yourself an easy life in bodybuilding. You know, no matter how rich or successful you get, unfortunately, the toll on your life is still going to be high on your relationships and your personal life, on what you're able to do, the freedoms that you have. I mean, I know that I'm still, a massive step behind Brandon. I'm in no place to criticize. I genuinely think this guy could step on the Olympia stage one day if he applied himself that bit more. And I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm just saying the level of hard work is astonishing to be able to get your pro card within the UK. But I know the impact that this sport has on your life if you want to do it as optimally as possible. Now, granted, I don't have the freedoms that he has. Wherever he goes, he can probably accommodate to his lifestyle. But I do know that it still comes with stresses, and that optimal is about more than just getting your meals in and being able to train. I know that as the CEO of an organization, and as somebody who has to manage a complex amount of content on a very frequent basis, he doesn't have much time. I know that he edits his videos, and I know how long that takes, even when you have the formula down to a T. What I'm saying is that it's understandable why Brandon's in the position he has, why he struggled to make that much progress versus his off-season last year, where arguably he transformed his physique in terms of thickness and density. But he needed to do that again over these past 12 months. He needed to transform once more to have a better shot at getting a pro card. Now, I'm sure there are loads of people who are going to comment saying that I have no clue what I'm talking about, and dear Lord, I hope that's the case, because I'd love to see this guy succeed and actually really put the time and commitment into bodybuilding, rather than the social media sideshow that tends to come about through being such a prominent fitness influencer. As somebody with so many potential paths for success ahead of you, you have to consider where your priorities lie and where long term you'll get the most happiness. If it's bodybuilding, maybe you need to reorganize your life around that. If it's the business, that's absolutely fine, but continuing to push your bodybuilding, push the drugs, and suffer will only harm your brand in the long run. If you turn up to another series of shows this year and fall flat on your face, then there needs to be a decision made. Do you commit to a multi-year off-season? Do you just say, let's leave nothing to chance, like you claim to be doing this year with the tagline of undeniable? I think it is. Road to pro, undeniable. Undeniable means his pro card is basically guaranteed. And I think that it'd be arrogant to say that's the case this year. Maybe after a long extended off-season, committing the time needed and giving it a final shot, he'd be able to achieve it. But again, the question arises, is it worth it? Would he be better off investing the time in his business and his social media content? I don't know. All I know is if competitive bodybuilding doesn't pan out in the next year, it may be time to call it quits. I'm not saying that because I want Brandon to fail. I'm saying it because I know the gravity of the challenge of getting your pro card in the UK, because I've seen it. I've seen the level of competition there is out there, and I'm looking forward to my future and planning out the roadmap. And dear Lord, that road to pro is going to be a long one. There are limited opportunities here, so you need to be sure you're going to be a guaranteed overall contender in every show that you step foot in. And because it pains me to see people deteriorate their health significantly for a goal that they're not willing to commit to fully. Worst comes to worst, you have to accept the sad reality of being a multi-millionaire, 20-something fitness influencer. Boo fucking who. Maybe one day he will be undeniable, but I wouldn't say today is that day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.